Hello Stampers, my name is Linda Bedinger and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Denver, Colorado. And this is my buddy Puccini, who helps me in the craft room and generally makes havoc. I'm back with a Christmas card, a pretty little Christmas card, using some of that beautiful paper that has the birds on it. So let's just get started. Okay, this beautiful paper is called Nests of Winter, and it's a 12 by 12 DSP, and it's been out for a while now. And this is my card, and we made this in a card class just the other day, and this little bird and this Merry Christmas ends up being either in the middle, the top, or the bottom, depending on where you cut your paper for this front panel. If you cut your paper so that these three birds down here in this corner are on that front panel, it's real easy to have your message in the middle or at the top. And then depending on where else you might have cut it on the page, you'll have to rearrange where you put your sentiment. Anyway, in order to make this card, what you need is, I used an A2 base, which is 8.5 by 5.5, scored and folded at 4 1/4. And we'll just give that a good burnish. Then we need 2 pieces of real red, and mine are 4 by 5 1/4. We need one for the front and one for the inside. Then our bird panel here on the top, 3 3/4 by 5, and a piece for the inside that is also 3 3/4 by 5. Very, very simple card. This piece is 1 inch by 3 3/4 and will fit across the bird panel. And on this one, I'm probably going to cut this panel down maybe by 1/4 inch so it fits a little bit more comfortably between these two birds, and this panel is going to go up here, and maybe my Merry Christmas will come down here in the corner. And then I used Merry and Christmas, which are a stamp set that came out of the last paper pumpkin, but most of us have several Merry Christmases around, and whichever one you have is going to work and be just fine. So again, a very simple, very fast card. So we'll start by putting our pieces of red on the card base. We'll have another couple little pieces. I used a strip on the inside of the card, and you can do another sentiment in here if you'd like. So this one is going to go right here on the front of the card, just like that. Then my panel of my birds goes just across that, again centered on the front of the card. And on this one, like I said, I'm going to cut this one down, by about 1/4 inch, I think. So I'll just snip this across. And then we'll put this strip right down here, and that way I see enough of both of my birds that I'm a little happier. So this one again is flat on the card. The dimension is with the sentiment and the bird. So right across here on the card, just like that. Then we'll add our 2 panels to the inside of the card, and we'll do our red panel right in here. And this is a simple card, which is nice for Christmas, because if you've got a lot of these to make, then you want something that's not too complicated. And yet, I think it's a very pretty little card. So we'll center this one on here. And even with all of my instructions, I don't think this is going to be a very long video. Then I have cut a strip of paper, and I was kind of careful about where to cut strips so that each of the strips that I cut had the little face of a bird on it. And I kind of like this one, so I'm going to put this in place on the inside of my card. And like I said, we have lots and lots of, may the joy of the season be yours with family and friends, any number of things that could be put on the inside to add some additional material. But there we go, that's the inside of the card. All right, now back on the outside, what I did was, there is a sheet in this paper, let's see if I can find it for you, that is this sheet, and it has lots of individual birds. And on this one, you'll see this little bird right in, I think he's this one. And I just cut the little bird out and put him on the card. And on this one, I cut out this little bird so that you don't have to cut into your pretty paper here if you want to make lots of these cards. So I cut out my little bird here, and I thought I would put him right in here. And let's see, I had some little berries cut. I had them a minute ago. Let's see if I can find them. I'll search for a minute and be right back. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I found some berries. I'm going to put this bird up on dimensionals. And so I've got some dimensional bones here that I'm going to put a couple of big pieces, and then I'm just going to cut a sliver off of one end here like that to maybe put down here on this bird's tail, just to give it a little support. And I'll snip that off because I don't need all of that, and take that dimensional back off and put that little bird into place right up in here, just like that. And then he had these little berries in his mouth, and I accidentally cut them off. So I thought I would cut just a little tiny piece of dimensionals here and kind of stick it under the berries here, and then put those berries back like it looked like he had them in his mouth. You can see the tail end of it over on this side. So there we go. All right. Now, on this, the other thing that I did ahead of time was I stamped and did my Merry Christmas. And on this one, I just kind of fussy cut around the words. And I thought that might go well down here. But I really like the way this one came out, backed a little bit by the red. So I'm going to take a second and get a piece of red cardstock and cut around this edge. So I'm just going to place this on here, and I'll speed this up so it isn't so tedious to watch. Okay, well, that took me just a minute. And what I ended up doing, I decided I liked the way this one looked a little bit better. So I cut it, the Christmas out and the Merry, and then I am gluing it on these little red pieces, silhouettes of that. And they're not perfect, but everybody knows this is a handmade card. And I thought that would actually look very nice on this card right here in the center. So that's what I'm going to do. Now I'm going to go ahead and raise these two pieces up a bit on dimensionals. And I'm going to set that Christmas right here. And then I'm going to cut off a little piece, again a little sliver of one of the sides here, to kind of go on the back of this Mary. There we go. And so now we have our Merry Christmas on the front. And we have our bird here. Now, what he doesn't have is any bows or anything. And here's another little bird I cut off, and it's got this little bow on the end here. Maybe I'll just add that to this. So I'm going to cut this, fussy cut around this little bow, and that bit of a branch. And I'm going to tuck it behind my bird here to kind of fill that out a little bit. And again, I'll put a little bit of dimensional on the back of this. And put that right in here underneath our bird. There we go. All right. And that's it, other than a few sparkles. And I have these, I just fell in love with these. They're called Adhesive Back Sparkle Gems, and they're like the regular rhinestones, except they're raised and glittered, and they're just beautiful. They're in gold, they're in black, and I thought these have a lot of little pieces of black. I thought it might be kind of interesting to put some black ones on here. So I'm going to try to take a couple of these black ones and put them in here. I think that'd be kind of fun. So I'm going to set a few around a couple different places on the card, and maybe a couple of these little ones up in here, and maybe one right on our band. There we go. And that is it. That is my project for the day. Thank you so much for stopping by my YouTube channel today. I really do appreciate it. And if you don't already have a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, well, I'd love to be your demonstrator. And this is it for me. I will be back soon with more cards, more projects, and more tips. Bye!